All right, guys, welcome back once again. We have a little bit of a post-game interview with FNS, so he's joining us now over here on the Mumble. Welcome, FNS. Congratulations, man, on your victory.
Thanks. What's up?
Well done, man. So let's talk a little bit about the match. How do you feel?
Pretty good. We thought we would win, but they're not one of those teams that you could just like kind of not try against and like get away with a win. Like you saw there, we got a little complacent in every game, and they were able to come back every game. So they're not like a bad team by any means. So all games were close for that reason.
They seemed very strong in the very beginning of each half. Like I'm pretty sure that you guys lost majority of the pistols, if I'm not mistaken, and
We
then
lost.
or
We won
the
a lot of
eco to
pistols.
follow. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we won a lot of pistols, but we lost eco. We got ecoed a lot.
that's what it was. It just seemed like out of the first maybe 5 rounds that was happening during the match, they were on top of it. So was there a lot of adjustments maybe around like round 6 or 7? It seemed either it was you guys were making a strategic adjustment or you just had the money to really combat them with properly with full nades.
Well, we knew they weren't like super organized or anything. But we also knew they weren't gonna like just play passive the whole time. So we kind of just relied on them making mistakes, like, and not fall into executes right away. So that's basically what we changed to at the start of the game. We were like, okay, let's just execute on them, or at least me. I was calling more executes, and then they just raped us doing that. So we're just like, okay, we're just gonna go into a default, wait, and then like beat them with skill, I guess, more so than with strategy.
Yeah, I love the mid game or mid like match decisions on your T side where you were going for defaults and then when it wasn't working, you just immediately flip that switch and you guys are going through smokes like flashing and stuff. I love that
Hmm.
coming out from you guys. So that was really
Thanks.
beautiful. Um, how do you guys feel? I guess we can kind of get to the nitty gritty part of it. I think we got the go ahead about Peter questions. Is that cool?
Yeah.
So he's not a part of your squad anymore. What's your initial reaction? Like, how is that impacting you guys? 'Cause he seems like he's such a, he was like the heart of your team, I guess you would say.
It's pushing it. I'd say, I mean, he was a big part of the team, just like everybody else. I think he contributed just as much as everyone else. Like outside of the game, it might look like he's like pumping us up and all that, and I think it's better for him to do that for him as a player than like the effect doesn't really like it doesn't affect us as much as it might affect him. Like if he was quiet the whole time, we'd still be the same. I feel like so in that
Mm.
sense, I think it's just his personality to do that. It didn't really affect us that much, but I feel like his impact was huge on our team as an opper, just as his role. And we also have a lot of chemistry since he was on our team for like 4 or 5 lands, and we practiced a lot with him. So this definitely
Right.
set us back losing him.
Yeah. So I guess what you're saying is it was more him to keep himself engaged, so to speak.
I think so.
So
Yeah, I think it's a personality thing.
all right, cool, interesting. So going forward, is JDM for sure fifth?
No, 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 no.
No.
He's definitely like in the talks, but we're not going to just throw anybody on the roster. Like I
Right.
don't think we ever operated like that. And we're never going to. It's going to be kind of like a trial stage, and we're going to try to get as many players who we think are capable of playing at a high level and helping us on our team, like being able to play our play style. So we're going to see if there's any players that are like that out there. So he's not going to be our only tryout. We're going to have multiple tryouts waiting. So we're going to try a bunch of people out, see how that goes, and then make a decision from there.
So, are you gonna try to specifically fill the role of an opper as well?
That's that's kind of what we're in discussion about right now. We don't know if we need to change our play style and throw somebody on that might be a rifler, but
Hmm.
we don't want to be picky. Like that's the thing. We're really confident in our play style though, so we prefer an upper. And just
Mm.
kind of throw him into Peter's role and then just keep the same play style we have, so we have a lot less to work on. But if we throw in a rifler, it wouldn't necessarily like be a bad thing, maybe. So we're still looking into that and see where it goes from there, I guess.
Interesting. Interesting. So, uh, let's see. Going forward. I mean, all this crazy news about the ESEA, ESL league, and um, has that had an impact on how you guys feel about like practice schedules or anything like that? Because I mean, that's just such huge news. It's such amount of
Hmm.
insane amount of money, and I mean, like North America is, I mean, I guess so to speak, wide open when it
Yeah.
comes from your perspective. As you're one of the top contenders in North America, obviously you won in Sivo. So, are you feeling confident going in, even though you just lost a good player in Peter? And are you guys changing anything up with that news?
Changing anything up? No, but we are confident that we could still compete the same, if not better. We're definitely not like, oh my god, we're gonna change as a
Yeah.
team all of a sudden because we lost one player. Uh,
I
we're
didn't.
actually
I
looking
didn't. I
forward to
didn't.
it.
Let me clarify that a little bit more. I didn't mean
Oh,
you
okay.
guys were going to change a lot with Peter leaving. I was meaning more so like, oh, like there's a lot of money on the line. Like
Yeah.
maybe like Cutler is like going to stop work. I don't know anything really about Cutler. I don't know if he's working. Like is there any like sudden changes like that? Like have you guys talked to your organization? Maybe pump up a little bit more practice time or anything like that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're definitely have some things coming up and like pretty soon that we can't really talk about yet, I don't think.
Oh, cool.
But definitely, yeah, look forward to us playing a lot more Counter-Strike, definitely. And especially with us not having a fifth, we kind of it's like a mandatory thing now. We kind of have to figure out who we're gonna use and get like since we're this is like I said before, like us losing Peter means we're gonna have to it's gonna set us back no matter what. So if
Yeah.
we pick when we pick somebody up, that person's gonna have to adapt and adapt quickly, and we're gonna have to work as hard as we can to get on that same level again.
And I wanted to ask a question specifically about your performance on the team and
Yeah,
how, like, I've known you for a while. I don't know if you recognize me, Finesse.
I do, I do.
Okay, so I've known you for quite a bit, and you've always been the strat caller and things like that. But one thing I've noticed is you have stepped up so big for your fragging ability. How confident are you feeling these days going into these matches? I mean, has there been any significant change? Are you just getting better at rifling, or is it
It's a lot
a
less
role
pressure.
change? Just a lot less pressure?
Yeah, it's a lot less pressure because, like I said, we've been a team for so long now that all of that stuff strat callers struggle with mainly has to do with like how much pressure they have to call and like how much they're thinking about the strat and like about mid rounding and stuff like that. I don't have to do a lot of that because I feel like my players have played with me for so long, and we have so much communication on the team that everyone can suggest things, so it's a lot more free. And at the same time, very organized because of how much we've practiced in the past. So we've kind of gone through the grind, at least with four of us. So it's not difficult for me to just sit there and not say a word because everybody contributes now because of how confident everyone is in our strats and our ability to win.
Yeah, it just seems like you're just so much more comfortable. I mean, I can think of so many invite 1.6 lands when you guys kind of had some early exits, for the most part early on when you guys had just gotten into invite, and your performance was lacking a little bit in some of those
Yeah,
matches just because it is so much pressure. A strat caller myself, like I know it could be so daunting when like you only get 2 or 3 rounds on T side and you're trying to call, and you can just tell it affects your score line when you only have 2 3 frags. But now that you've kind of emerged as this new North America, not new now, you guys have been established for a while, but I'm
yeah,
talking, so to speak, your progression. Like when you finally emerged as a contender in North America, your performance really set the team on top, I think, in my opinion. And especially when you picked up Tarek, I think that was a great pickup for
yeah,
you guys, as he was just kind of that raw fragging power that you guys needed. And you guys are 10 man together, anyways. It didn't. I mean, I bet the chemistry was pretty instant when you guys picked them up. So just
yeah.
well done. I've loved seeing your team progress and evolve, and it's been a pleasure, really, just following you guys.
Thank you, dude.
Yeah, no problem. Moving forward, what kind of changes do you think you'd anticipate? Have you talked to with these players, like, looking at the current player pool, and like, are you trying to pry a player away from a team? I mean, I know it's kind of snaky, and I should say that a little bit, like a whisper, but I mean, are you looking at players that are already under contract? Like maybe someone
Even
from
if we were going
Liquid?
to, we're not allowed to because they're under contract. That's what's
Okay.
different now, right? You can't just throw random players on your team that are on other teams anymore. It's like completely like not okay to do that anymore, especially because these organizations have such a like are so tight knit with each other that if you steal like a player for someone else, then obviously like that's not something you should do. That's unethical. So it's definitely difficult to do that. So we kind of stray away from thinking about other players. But again, the free agent pool is so little, you know. So it's like it sucks
Yeah,
in a way.
it's a tight spot, especially in North America. We don't have the biggest pool of players to pick from in terms of like, you take a risk on a premier player, or you
Yeah.
want the safe bet, and you always want to gravitate towards the safe bet, and there's not a lot of safe
Yep.
bets here in North America, so that kind of sucks. Um,
Yeah.
how do you guys feel about your map selection? I mean, we kind of saw a little bit in this match where your vetoes, like, were they just kind of random for this? Like you didn't really care? Or, is Mirage, one of your staple maps? Is Cache one of your staple maps,
That's interesting that you asked that because like Mirage is actually a map we're really good on in NA, and then absolutely get destroyed on when we play any European team on it, like
Oh, no.
completely raped. So it's kind of weird for us, and like people have asked us in the past, like, why do you guys keep picking Mirage on LAN? And we're just like, because we do so well on it online that we kind of know what to do on it. We have a lot of strats on T side on it, especially, and as long as we have a good CT side, we end up winning that game. But it always comes down to like obviously close games nowadays. So we might, as far as like map selections go, in NA, we're not too worried about it. Mainly because we get so much practice against these teams, so we're not like we basically have a good strat pool on Cache, Mirage, and like Dust 2. And then Inferno we kind of struggle at sometimes, so we kind of veto it for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And then Overpass Cobble, obviously we haven't touched it that much, but we seem to be pretty good on Overpass, so we might pay a lot more attention to that and keep that a lot more.
Did you just say that you don't think you're that good on Dust 2?
No, we are good on Dust 2. Like,
Oh,
our
okay.
strat pool is pretty good on Dust 2.
Oh, okay. All right, I just heard that wrong. Because I think that's your guys' best map. I mean, you guys
like
got
right now,
your
I
big
think
wins
Inferno and
against-
Cobble.
Yeah,
Inferno and Cobble are the two maps we try to veto because of like I don't know, we just aren't that confident on it. We haven't even like touched Inferno practice in like forever. So
interesting. So going forward, do you guys have any big tournaments coming up? Are you in Face It or no?
no, we didn't make that. It's going to be Liquid and Elevate, I think, and then they're going to Gfinity too, I think. So no, we don't have good any lands coming up, thank God, because we don't have a player to go to a LAN with. So
yeah, that'd be a pretty tight spot.
It's actually so it's actually good that we don't have any lands coming up. We're kind of taking this time to figure out who our fifth is going to be, and then actually compete with the Europeans instead of just like we have no intention of like being number one in NA necessarily. Like it's not all we want to do. We want to be number one. We want to try to be number one in the world, obviously, but we want to be at least at the top 10 mark before we could call ourselves a good team.
Interesting. So I wanted to ask you a question about playing against European teams, so to speak, as one of our main North American teams. What do you think sets like the biggest difference between a North American team and an NA team? I mean, obviously they get to practice more, and it's more structured practice. But I'm talking more so like in the game when you're strat calling, and you see how like maybe TSM is defending or how NIP is defending, and like how are you approaching them, and like what is your understanding of like how they operate?
Is the question what makes NA different from EU, or how I play against them?
How, just from your perspective as a strat caller, what's your perspective on how EU plays versus like a North American team?
I think they focus a lot on teamwork because they already have so much talent, and for us, we don't really focus on that. In my opinion, I think we lack so much teamwork that like we'll like blame players for certain things, like one specific player, and it's like. And then that person will get cut, and then another new all-star will come. So we basically make a team of all-stars and kind of have skill prevail. If we win a big tournament, like if you saw Cloud9's Glory Days, you saw that Hiko and Swag basically like won the most crucial rounds.
Yeah, it's true.
Like single-handedly. Whereas you watch Fnatic or Envy, you see everybody contributing because, and yeah, there's always top fraggers and bottom fraggers, but there's no humongous carry like there was when Pico and Swag were on Cole. But like, and even iBuyPower to some extent was like the closest thing to that, and probably us now is that we try to focus as much as we can on teamwork, and I mean like teamwork in mid-round. So, for example, if you see that the other team's like going to be able to rotate soon, or you're in a 3v3, and you're blatantly running into a site where you know the whole team is rotating, like the ability to call, okay, can we just fake this site and go to the other site really, really fast? You know, like making those crucial calls at the right times, not making dumb mistakes, stuff like that. And I know I'm being really like broad right now, so it's not. I can't get into
I
specifics.
mean, I asked a very broad question, so it's no problem.
So like it honestly comes down to teamwork. We don't pay attention to it. We don't talk about scenarios and what we should do in certain scenarios like 3v3s and 2v2s. That's what I think personally. I think that's what we lack in. Because I think our skill is abundant. We have so much skill in North America. We simply just don't have the teamwork, and they do.
Interesting.
Even though they have so much skill, they're able to implement that skill using teamwork, and we don't.
Yeah, it's a very great point. Well, I don't want to keep you for too long. Again, very well done. I hope you'll play with CS Select again soon, and good luck finding your new fifth, man. I can't wait to see what emerges with the whole NA shuffle. Ooh.
Thanks.
No problem, man. Take care.
All right, see ya.
And that should be it, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in. I think Blue's at the bottom. Go follow him. I believe it's at Blue _. If someone in chat can post that up for him, that'd be great. And you can find me at Hurricane HURIKANE _. And again, thank you so much.
User disconnected from your channel.